I want to switch gears a little bit because when the WNBA season started on Friday, they made sure that the world knew that Phoenix Mercury center Brittney Griner is still trapped in Russia. That's 79 days after her arrest on alleged drug charges at a Russian airport. Now the U.S. State Department has determined that the star is basically being wrongfully detained. This is a classification that may help secure her release. Nayara, I do want to bring into the discussion two-time WNBA champion, MVP and Olympic gold medalist, Breanna Stewart. We're going to call her Stewie. Breanna Stewart, we're going to call her Stewie. Before I bring Nayara back into the conversation, Breanna, I want to talk to you. We should discuss why BG was even over in Russia playing. Now, you can earn over $1 million playing in Russia. What needs to change here to make sure that WNBA players are valued right here in our own country?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, Tiffany. And how women's basketball works for professional players is we play in the WNBA from April until October, and then we go overseas until October until April to supplement our income, to continue to play basketball, to play EuroLeague. BG and I played on the same team in Russia, UMMC in Ekaterinburg. So we're over there because we have such a hard cap in the WNBA where we can't allow players to make more money, and we need more companies and investors to get behind women, so then we can be home and we can be marketable and we can be around all the time.
So now that we know why Brittney was there, Stewie, tell us, have you talked to her? Have you spoken to her wife? What do you know that's happening right now?
I've been in constant communication with BG's team, making sure that her family knows that I'm supporting her all the time, writing her letters, because that's how you have to do things when someone is wrongfully detained in Russia, and just trying to show her as much support as we can and trying to continue to convey the message that we want to get her home ASAP. She's been there for 79 days wrongfully detained, and hopefully the White House can really get her home.
Nayara, I want to bring you back in the conversation because you are an expert on the area. This is speculation, of course, but if you could imagine what is Brittney Griner going through right now, and what is the likelihood that she will be returned to her home country here in America as soon as possible?
As Stewie mentioned, Brittney's there because she was trying to make money for her family that she could not and was denied from making here in the United States. She's been going in and out of Russia for 10 years. Yet, just as Putin invades Ukraine and realizes he's up against the United States in a hard war, he decides that somehow she has been carrying marijuana, which does have a 10-year sentence in Russia. They have very harsh drug rules there, that suddenly Brittney Griner needs to be detained. Last week, the White House was able to successfully do a prisoner exchange. Trevor Reed, a U.S. Marine, had been detained for 2 years. He was exchanged for a long-time drug trafficker here, Russian drug trafficker in U.S. prison. That exchange worked, and Trevor Reed's family stood up at the White House and said, bring Brittney Griner home. So there is a tactical, political situation going on here where how do you bring somebody home? How do you get someone like Putin willing to release a celebrity that has been getting him so much attention, that makes Putin feel that he is the aggressor here and he has leverage over the United States, while also addressing the very real human rights situation we have, which is that you have a black, lesbian, independent woman in jail right now in a country that effectively tries to deny her entire existence on a day-to-day basis.
And you know something, Putin is quite the sports enthusiast. So, Stewie, I'm curious. I cannot imagine that any WNBA player or American athlete will ever go to Russia again. That's going to have quite a devastating impact. But curious from you, what's your prediction? Would you ever go back to Russia to play, assuming that BG comes home and that there's some sort of pathway in exchange again?
Well, I'm definitely not going back to Russia until BG's back home safe. And, when we get to that point, then we'll have a conversation about, what's going to happen with basketball in Russia. But the way that everything is going, Russia's not what I represent. And I can't find myself being there to play no matter what.
Yeah, I want to point out your tweet that you sent yesterday talking about your teammate BG. You've been tweeting every day. You know, it's been 78 days. It's been 79 days since BG was there. You're tagging the White House. You said earlier when I asked you, we want the White House to do something. What specifically do you want the White House to do? Let's assume and pretend that someone from the White House is watching right now. What's your message to them?
My message to the White House is to please bring Brittney home. Help her get home. She deserves to be back with her family, her friends, the WNBA. The WNBA isn't the WNBA without BG. And just help get her home, please.
Nayara, before I let you go, Trevor Reed's release, how will that impact Brittney Griner's return home? And you know better than anyone what's going on behind the scenes. What do you anticipate is happening between the White House right now as they try to negotiate Brittney Griner's return?
Yeah, Paul Whelan is still there, and they've been between Trevor and Paul. That's several years that they've been detained by Russia. So the argument could be made that Brittney Griner is just the latest in a long line of U.S. people who are used as pawns by Putin. But again, her identity puts her at a much higher risk. She also is a high-profile celebrity. But these prisoner exchanges, these releases, aren't always done by the book. They're done in conversations with families, with these dictatorial leaders. And it really goes case by case. So every time somebody tweets or talks or mentions her is a reminder, and pressure, the public pressure will make a difference in getting BG home.